then even his motivation. So, okay, so he died in the fourth movie, right, again, and he's resurrected by bringing his mom back to give birth to him again. So he comes back, and now he needs Alice's baby to feed him soul so he can get stronger. It doesn't make fucking sense, does it?
Wanna make babies?
What's wrong with me? You're just a little pregnant.
Do unborn babies dream?
That part just start. Bon appetit! Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. It's a boy!
Alright, y'all, well, it's about that time. So I just covered the blaxploitation horror movies for the first week and a half of October. So now get into the Elm Streets. So I reviewed 1 and 2 Dolo, and then 3 and 4 I collaborated with Darnell from Rejected Heroes Media, and now he's back again. Darnell from Rejected Heroes Media to talk Elm Streets 5 and 6. So we're going to start out with part 5, The Dream Child, which is a very strange fucking film because this was Elm Street's attempt to go back to being scary and being serious, but in this movie, Freddy is now a full-blown fucking comedian. He's a stand-up comic. Alright, in the first 2 movies he was scary. The third movie was the beginning of the Freddy one-liners, and then 4 was like all pretty much one-liners, and now he's a stand-up comic. You know, so you have a stand-up comic child killer in a dark gothic horror movie with the rap soundtrack that has fucking dark elements to it, like teen pregnancy and the baby daddy dying, and now she has to be a teen single mom raising her child with her recovering alcoholic father. Okay, so Nightmare on Elm Street 5. That's the Dream Child in a nutshell. So many people say that this is one of the weaker of the Elm Street movies, and they're right. You know, when you think about the weakest links, you think Freddy's Dead and this one, and people even say 2. Now, even though 2 is also a bizarre film, but 2 was at least scary at times. You know, it's kind of a mess, but 2 was at least scary at times, and Freddy was fucking terrifying in that movie. In this movie, even the makeup is bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, Freddy's makeup, like, Freddy does not look menacing or scary at all, but luckily, the way this movie is shot, and sometimes when they have him in the shadows, I guess he can come across a little creepy, but Freddy's not scary in this movie at all, but Robert Englund is still great as the character. And now, let me talk about my crush, Alice. Oh my goodness. Alice. And okay, in part 4, she looked a little, you know, plain Jane-ish, you know, but by the end of the movie, she was badass. But in this movie, man, she was a fucking, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the change of hair or her woman weight finally kicked in. You know what I'm saying? Because like when women reach that point in their lives where they fill out all over the place, I think it might have been that. I don't know. But Alice was, I remember being 10 years old first watching this movie, y'all. And I think that was the start of my puberty because every time I saw Alice, I started feeling kind of funny. You know what I mean? But anyways, getting off track here. Before I get into the rest of my thoughts of this movie, I'm gonna pass the mic to the special guest in the building, some family I got in the house here. Darnell, take it away, fam. What you think about Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child?
It's a boy! Welcome on my YouTuber subscribers. Happy 31 days of Halloween. All of you guys. First and foremost, as always, let me thank my big brother, Rashad, for letting me be on his channel again to give you guys some more of that fright-tacular stuff that you guys like every 31 days of Halloween. Picking up from last year, we did Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. Now we're going to do Nightmare on Elm Street 5 and Freddy's Dead. So just keep the nightmare train going. Again, thank you, Rashad, for letting me be on your channel and just talk about nightmare shit because, you know, you and I are both horror fans, even though horror's been kind of hit and miss lately. Can't forget about the classics, so let's just talk about Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Here we go. Say about this movie. First of all, this movie came out in, what, 1989? Literally a year before I was born. That means Rashad's got more, like, miles on this franchise than I do. Nightmare on Elm Street 5 pretty much is what I would think of as, like, the goth nightmare movie, because this movie is, like, straight up, like, gothic shit. Like, this movie is kind of, like, aesthetically different from the other nightmare movies, but it is movie good. It is good. You know, I got a soft spot in my heart for all the Nightmare movies. This one, I kind of sit back and still have a good time with it and everything like that because I like just, I think it's the kills and the ideas, the batshit ideas that get thrown into this movie that I dig the most. One of the things that stayed out the most, the dream sequences wise, is definitely what was his name? The comic book dude, and Mark. That name Mark. He got sucked into the dream world going against Freddy Krueger, and he was super Freddy and shit like that. That's those things that stand on my head. Like, oh yeah, this is Nightmare on Elm Street 5. I like it. Those movies, I'm just like, I could like when you're binge watching all of them. Nightmare on Elm Street 5 is still like a good, like still good one. Or plot in the movie goes more or less. The movie takes place, you know, after Nightmare 4. Got Alice and Dan pretty much getting their groove on shit, and the movie opens up with PG-13-ish sex scene. But it ain't a nightmare movie without it starting off with some type of dream sequence and shit like that. So you more or less find out that Freddy Krueger is the son of a bastard. Son of 100 maniacs. I almost fucked it up, Rashad. More or less, Freddy Krueger is coming back again, but this time it's like Alice doesn't know how he's coming back and shit, because now we found out that she's actually pregnant with Dan's baby. So now it's like, oh, Freddy is using the baby's dreams to kill people and shit. I said this one was weird, but still interesting like that. So pretty much like say, Alice pretty much got to stop Freddy from coming back again, even though he does come back. She's the dream master. Now she got to protect the dream child. That's the movie. Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Like I said, it's still one of those like guilty pleasure movies. Like, it might not be like the most spectacular of the Nightmare movies. It's definitely not the clash like the first one. It's not homosexual, I guess, like the second one. Does it hit home like the third and fourth one? Like those are my two favorites. But Dream Child's still one of those, like, if you're binge watching it, I still have a good time with it. I still like the character. I like the creative dream sequences in the movie. Like I said, that dream sequence with Mark and Freddy's all like, "Told ya comic books was bad for ya." I really like quote this movie. Like, I know this movie a lot. There's so many quotes. Bon appetit, bitch. Where you going, Piglet? The party's just starting. Yeah. I like this movie. It's again Rashad, big bro, letting me do another nightmare video for you. I will see you guys in the next video for Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. He's dead for good, right? Right? And as always, subscribe to our channels. Until next time.
Alright, well, you know what? Yo, I thought you was going to shit on it like a lot of people do, but unfortunately, you did dig it. And I tell you what, if I could be honest, the only reason I really dig this movie is for nostalgic reasons, because when this came out, I know I always have like an old nostalgic story or whatever, but fuck y'all, wait till y'all get old. This movie came out in the summer of '89, and that's the summer when I went to visit my father in Seattle, and I haven't seen my father in like a year, you know what I'm saying? So I was finally reunited with him, and that summer just happened to be the best summer in movies, and that's how we always bonded, through movies. So we went to a lot of movies that summer. He took me to see Batman, Lethal Weapon 2, Lock Up with Sylvester Stallone, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Elm Street 5. And mind you, my father's not a horror fan. He's not an Elm Street fan, but he knew I was a fan, so he took me to see it. And he didn't like it, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I'm watching it with my dad, you know what I mean? So that movie, every time I watch that movie, I always remember watching that film with my dad and having a great time. So for nostalgic reasons, yes, I enjoy the movie. But if I'm putting my critic hat on, there's so much wrong with this shit. There's just so much wrong with it, man. I mean, golly. Like I said, Freddy, the jokes were just too much. Too many one-liners. Like, all he needed was a laugh track behind him. Like, how are you brutally killing these kids, but you're like, you know, cracking jokes with the laugh track behind you? It just didn't make sense to me. And then even his motivation. So, okay, so he died in the fourth movie, right, again, and he's resurrected by bringing his mom back to give birth to him again. So he comes back, and now he needs Alice's baby to feed him soul so he can get stronger. It doesn't make fucking sense, does it? Even me saying it, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't... Listen, say what you want about 2, but at least in 2, his motivation was clear. He wanted to use Jesse to get his victims out in the real world. Which still doesn't make a lot of fucking sense. But at least that's a little easier to follow than him having himself being born again and then using another unborn baby to kill people, feed his souls to the baby. So what? He's going to try to create another Freddy? He's trying to birth another Freddy into the world? You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense. You know, I'm sorry. But what compliments I can give it is that, as always with the Nightmare on Elm Street films, the kills are very innovative. You know, Freddy never kills anybody the same way twice. You know what I mean? So in this one, the first death with Dan on the motorcycle, tight. One of the best Freddy deaths in any Elm Street movie. Greta, even though it was weird, but it was different. He actually used his knives and fed her own intestines as she ate. Okay. And then, of course, the comic book boy turned him into a comic book, turned into Super Freddy, and killed the boy through a comic book. So, some innovative kills here, okay? But, of course, the movie ends the same way the fourth movie did. You know what I'm saying? With the souls coming out of him and dragging him back to hell. I said, okay, I've seen that in the fourth movie already. So, even back then, I remember watching Elm Street 5, even though I enjoyed it with my father. But I said, damn, the fourth movie was better. You know, a higher body count, more entertaining. This one was trying to be dark and gothic, but then still had that silly Freddy like goofiness. You know what I mean? So, but it just gets worse from there. So if he's a stand-up comic in this movie, the next movie they turn him into a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon character. And we're gonna get to that later. But anyways, Darnell, thank you for joining me on this video. By the way, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, Reject the Heroes Media, I'm gonna put the link in the description. So wrapping this up, y'all. I'm gonna give Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, I'm gonna give it a C. You know what I'm saying? Like, Freddy's my boy. I fucks with him, but I gotta call a spade a spade. The movie is not great. It's not terrible. It's average at best. One of the lower Elm Street movies. I'll put it this way: if I'm showing somebody Elm Street for the first time, by the time we get to 5, I'm not as excited to show them anymore. It's almost like, okay, we have to watch this out of necessity, out of duty, just to say that we watched it. You know, the ones I'm really excited for is 1 through 4. Then after that, it's like, okay, we can watch it, but you're probably not going to like it. But I like looking at Alice, though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lisa Wilcox. You know, she's older now, but she can still get it twice on Sunday. Anyways, y'all, what'd you think about Elm Street 5, The Dream Child? Comment freely below if you liked and dig the content. Oh, wait a minute, did I mention that this has a hip-hop track? Yes. To add to the, okay, to put the cherry on top for this, for the bizarreness of this movie, right? How weird this movie is. They end the movie with the credits, right? No bullshit. The end credit song is a battle rap record by Kumo D dissing LL Cool J. What the fuck does a battle rap record with Kumo D dissing LL Cool J have to do with Elm Street and Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy Krueger? I've never seen a horror movie where you had a hip hop song playing at the end that was a battle rap by one rapper against another. Alright, that's it in that song. Comment freely below. Like and did this content. Hit that like and subscribe notification bell in the corner. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.
Get him? Well, I got him. My mouth is an Uzi, and I shot him with hundreds of rhymes of rhythm designed to make him rewind. This time I draw the line. He's a miracle. You gotta lock him my jock like a pit bull. Pit bull. Yep.